Do you really need me to tell you how good of a game Brawl is, or do you just want to hear what I have to say about it? Believe me, you have no idea how hard it is to be funny when talking about games I like. With bad games, the jokes just come easily. Alright people,
Rapid fire.
I screwed up, sorry. Now before talking about Brawl, I would like to talk about my time with its predecessor, Melee. Warning, this might get boring.
Approximately 6 years ago, I bought a GameCube and 2 controllers. Now, if memorizing the date that I bought my GameCube isn't nerdy enough, the only game I got for it was Super Smash Bros. Melee. It was the only game I had for 3 months, and I played it again, and again, and again, over and over and over, day in and day out. I did it because it's a lot of fun. Now, I honestly couldn't tell you why it's so much fun. Fighting games I generally detest because the only skill seems to be how many buttons you can mash in the shortest amount of time. But Smash Bros. Is really a fan service. If you like their franchises, you're going to want to play as all the characters and all the modes and unlock a whole lot of stuff. And I did. I beat all the special events, I beat Classic, Adventure, and All-Star on hard, and I got 288 out of the 290 trophies. Now instead of saying, wow, that's impressive, that's 99.3%, you're probably going to say, well, what were the 2 that you didn't get? Super Smash Bros. Melee was fun but frustrating. At one point, out of anger, I threw my controller at the ground, and then it stopped working. Upon closer inspection, I actually broke the internal circuit board. That's right, I broke Nintendium. That thought worried me when Brawl was announced because who knows where my Wiimote might end up. But at the end of the day, Melee is made a pure win.
And now, let's see if Brawl is even better.
Holy crap!
That's a pretty brutal opening screen.
As I said before, Super Smash Bros. Is a fighting game, but in this series, you don't knock out your enemy, you smash him off the screen. As a character takes damage, its percentage will rise, and the higher percentage it has, the further it will fly when hit. Don't take this the wrong way, but that's really the only thing original about these games.
There's no use in arguing that Nintendo milks franchises. I mean, that's just what they do. But that's the reason why a lot of people I know don't like Nintendo. What's special about the Super Smash Bros. Series is it seems to be a celebration of all those franchises, as if to say, yeah, I got your original content right here. What makes things worse is this is the third and biggest iteration of what has become a franchise of franchises, which would make a bad case of milking seem even worse. But what's phenomenal is, it's probably going to be one of the best-selling games of 2008.
As if Nintendo's characters didn't fit nicely into their own genres, they've all decided to join the fight in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Even the really obscure ones. To my knowledge, Ice Climbers are only playable in 3 games, 2 of which are Smash Bros. Games. Now this is the first time that third-party characters have entered the fray, and while Sonic is a welcome addition to the Smash Bros., nothing can prepare me for the shocker that was Snake joining the Brawl. An even bigger shocker came along when I found out that the default song for Snake's level in Super Smash Bros. Brawl is coming from Metal Gear Solid 4, several months before the game even comes out on a competitor's console. Not to be outdone by the multitude of characters in this game, there's an even more insane number of stages in this game, which begs the question, when is Nintendo's milking teat gonna run dry? And when I think about Super Smash Bros. Melee stages being in this game, the words recursive algorithm come to mind. I know that sounded like a list of complaints, but I was just trying to act like I wasn't a fanboy. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is fun. Anybody can pick it up and play it because the controls are dead simple, but surprisingly deep. One button attacks and another button does a charging attack. These attacks, along with your smash attacks, can be performed in 4 different directions. You can block or dodge, you can jump twice, and while in the air you can perform one of your 2 attacks, either neutral or in a direction. You can grab and throw people, and then of course there's that item that initiates a final smash, and if your enemy gets that, well, you're pretty much dead. Please take note that none of these controls are done with motions, which is shockingly awkward. The system sells itself with the promise of motion controls, while its best-selling game says, screw it, we're not even going to bother with that. Instead, you can mash buttons on the classic controller, the nunchuck and Wiimote, just the Wiimote, or, the obvious choice, the GameCube controller. You still have to pick the discs channel with your Wiimote, but I can get over that. And if that's not nerdy enough for you, I actually have Return of the King on VHS.
Just like Melee, I'm going at this game solo, but it's not like I actually have a choice being the outcasted Nintendo fan that I am. For one player, there's this huge wall of things for me to complete, which takes a lot of the grind and guessing out of unlocking things. But really, this is what keeps me coming back to the game.
Some of these challenges get out of hand, like play over 100 hours of brawls. Yeah, well talk to me in 4.16 days, I'll have it done by then. Completing these challenges unlocks all sorts of things like stickers, stages, and trophies. I don't know how many trophies are in this game, but I can only guess that I'm on academic probation. Most of the challenges are reasonable and can be completed by playing through one-player modes, which is pretty much the stuff from Melee verbatim. But then there's the Subspace Emissary. I have no idea what that name means, but it's actually really good. Seriously, I don't know why so many people knocked on it, considering that it's about a 10-hour platforming game built off of a fighting game engine. Plus, there's some badass CG. Some things are unlocked by creating custom stages. I honestly never thought it'd be so hard BSing 5 stages. At least you can send your creations to your friends via Nintendo's Wi-Fi connection, which is an incredibly convenient segue.
The biggest improvement over Melee? Online play. Yes, it is finally here. It's so glorious, it's gonna make your face melt off. Results will vary.
You still have to exchange friend codes. I mean, that feature isn't going away. Maybe one of the reasons why I like playing against my friends so much is because I'm way better than all of them. So I guess it brings me artificial happiness. Like a plastic girlfriend. Yes, I had to buy a blow-up doll for my music video. No, I did not use the blow-up doll. No, you cannot have the blow-up doll. On the other hand, playing against strangers is terribly broken. I've never been able to start up a match, which I guess I should be okay with. If it's this hard to just start one, how bad would the lag be? Rounding out the features in Brawl are replays and snapshots. You can save a match up to 2 minutes long for later playback or for you to film off your LCD screen and make Halo 3-like YouTube montages. Snapshots are actually a feature that Melee had, but I only recently embraced them. I call this one, Bowser is a Pedophile, and this one, the 10th Commandment. Why do my jokes always have to be sexual? Super Smash Bros. Brawl is a great game in respect to everything that's new and old about the game, with tons of content and replay value. It's one of those games that other online reviewers would call a must-have, or you're a homo if you don't like this game.
I also gotta have a graphics comparison in this review, because this game is published by Nintendo, and nobody treats Nintendo better than Nintendo. A sad and true fact.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl compared to Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah, it looks better. Compared to Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 has muddy last generation textures, but that doesn't keep it from being one of the sweetest games of all time. Compared to Super Mario Galaxy. Galaxy was more polygon intensive and had simple meshes. It's still the best looking game on the Wii. Compared to Metroid Prime 3. I'm gonna give this one to Metroid Prime 3. Compared to Ninjabread Man. Insert sarcastic comment here. Now am I done with this review? Oh no.
Yes, you knew it was coming. Now I'm going to talk about the hotness that is known as Peach.
Princess Peach is absolutely adorable in this game. She's portrayed as an empty-headed vain blonde, and every cutscene and taunt exudes girliness. Well, except for when she wins and decides to scratch her butt. Come on, that's not very ladylike. Brawl revealed something disturbing. She's married. My question is, to who? I guess I couldn't expect her to stay available forever. And if lusting after a fake princess isn't nerdy enough, I actually have component cables for my GameCube. This has been Shaka When the Walls Fell for Wii TV.